beautiful people. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and today is day 28, or 4 weeks post-op for me, since my surgery to remove a cancerous tumor in my transverse colon. If you're new here, you can watch many of my live replays and learn more about my health journey so far. I just want to say hello to everyone. Welcome, everyone. Please feel free to leave your name or say hello in the chat, questions or comments. We love the interaction. Okay. Over the last 4 weeks, we've really focused on so much on surgery and recovery, but now we're starting to understand more about the biology of my cancer, what the testing showed, what options may be ahead, and how I'm thinking through all of it while continuing to heal. So this next phase feels really different, not because my recovery is over, but because we are beginning to shift from reacting to what's happened to processing volumes of information and research to help make thoughtful decisions about what comes next. So I want to talk about where things stand right now, what's coming up, how we're approaching those decisions, and what moving forward looks like for me while I'm continuing to prioritize healing and taking things one step at a time. There's a lot going on, everybody. Oh my goodness, I am standing. I do have a chair, a standby chair in case I need it. So anyways, I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Let's see who we have here. Can you go back down? Let's see. Hi, whole food plant-based nut Lisa. Welcome. Colleen is here. It's hard to believe 4 weeks have passed, right? My goodness, but I count them one day at a time, and that's where we're at. So welcome. Jill Caperton, hi everyone. Hello, welcome. Video 1000 Nights, hello. Jill said, hi, Jennifer and Todd, and everybody else here. Colleen is here. Just so grateful to have everybody here with us to spend this time together. So, okay, before we jump into today's updates, there's something I want to take a moment to acknowledge. Okay, so during last week's live, I received my very first, not one, but 2 YouTube super thanks, or I guess it was jewels. And at that time that it happened, I didn't even realize what they were. And Todd and I noticed them once we ended the live stream. So first, I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to Mona Arendt 6384, and I don't know if she's on right now. I don't see her in the chat. And Jill Caperton 1568, and I know you're here, Jill. You're both amazing, and I truly appreciate you both. I appreciate everybody for being here too, but I just want to shout out to them. And I want to be honest, when I realized afterwards what Mona and Jill had done, I was super touched, but I was also super bummed because I didn't get to recognize you at the time. So I want to do that now. Thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Okay, that was my first little official dance too, post-op. And so in case you might be going, what is she talking about? Okay, so just to explain, in case you're like me and not familiar with the super thanks, it's kind of like leaving a tip, I guess, after watching a video or a replay. So it's a super thanks anyways. It's a one-time way to say, I enjoyed this and I want to support you. Now, jewels, this is new for me, are a little bit different, right? Jewels are YouTube's virtual points that people can buy and use during certain they can use them during certain like live experiences to send little gifts, kind of like using arcade tokens, I guess, instead of cash. And so last week, Mona Arendt, and I see you, Mona, in the chat now. Welcome. Last week, Mona Arendt 6384 sent me tulips. And Jill Caperton 1568 sent me cheers, like two glasses that were clicking together. And I just love that. I love tulips, truly. And who doesn't like being cheered to, right? Or cheering. So either way, both are just optional ways that people can support creators. And truly, there is never, on my part anyways, any expectation. Watching, commenting, sharing, praying, sending messages, all of that means the world to me. So especially right now during this season of my life, and I'm calling it a season because it's going to pass, your support means more than I can fully express. So whether you watch, you comment, you pray, you send messages, share videos of what I'm sharing, purchase merchandise, support through things like the Super Thanks and Jewels, or just simply hold space for me and my family, you are helping carry us through this. And I am so deeply, deeply touched by that. So, what I also just want to say is what struck me most wasn't even the financial support. It was the thought behind it. So the feeling of someone saying, I'm here, I see you, I want to support you. So thank you both again for being the first people to ever send me a super thanks or a jewel. And thank you to all of you. I feel your love, your encouragement, your hugs, your prayers, and your support every single day. And I mean that, okay? So I also want to take a moment, I got another thing to share, to celebrate something really spectacular and super big for me. This week, I'm proud to share that our channel reached 100,000 subscribers. Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. And so thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching, commenting, sharing, praying, encouraging, learning, teaching, and walking alongside me through the recipes, the conversations, the wins, the hard moments, and now this part of my health journey. I honestly just wanted to help others who felt alone and like there was no other option. But maybe what a medical doctor in the Western space may have told you, like, for me, that's what happened. It was that I would never get better with small fiber neuropathy, that I would only get worse. I would always be on brain altering medications. And for me, that was not the case. And I wanted to share the power of food with someone who might be unaware. And that's where it all started. I just wanted to reach that one person. And apparently I'm reaching all kinds of people. So this community is a friendship. It's a place for support. It's a space where people genuinely want good things for one another. And I just want to thank you for choosing to be here with me and for allowing me to be part of your journey too. I always wanted to offer value and never waste anyone's time. So I appreciate all of you more than you'll ever know. Okay, so I'm going to just check the chat last before we move on. And let's see. Congratulations, Jill says. Thank you so much. Colleen, congratulations. What's in the casserole dish? We are going to talk about that, but I will tell you it's a stir fry that I made. It's not a stir fry, it's a bake. It's a tofu scramble, and it's got potatoes, and it's got tofu and beans and garlic and all kinds of things. And I just put it out here because I've been making little corn tortillas that are just plain, and putting that in there and heating it up, and then adding fresh tomato and fresh avocado and then putting some of salad on top because I'm eating salad and really enjoying it. And so, anyways, that's what it is. I think there's also onion in here and green bell pepper, only because I would have done red bell pepper, but we have been having trouble finding that. So that's what's in there. Let's see. Jesse Bunker Maxwell, hello. Wow, I did not realize that about the number of your subscribers. Congratulations, guys. Thank you. I know. It's like, wow. So I'm super grateful, and I'm most importantly grateful that I'm reaching people and hopefully making a difference in someone's life or many people's lives. That's fabulous, Jennifer. Congratulations. Thank you from Whole Food Plant-Based Nut, Lisa and Mona. Okay. So I got a lot of stuff to share, so I'm going to try to do this so that I could get through everything. But okay. So let's talk a little bit about new foods this week, right? What I made, and if there's time, I want to share a recipe for carrot pulp crackers. I've got that stuff over here. Hopefully, we can have time to at least set it up. I've been juicing. Oh, and here are the finished pulp crackers that I've already made. I'd love to share the recipe with you guys. Okay, so I've been juicing up until the end of last week because what happened at the end of last week that made me stop? I noticed that my Nama J2, my juicer, wasn't working correctly. It didn't seal the juice. Here is the piece. I'll show you. It did not seal the juice from coming out of here. It just kind of was flopping around. And the other side, this side is where the pulp comes out. And this side wasn't, it was letting the pulp come out, but it wasn't doing a good enough job. So then when I got the juice, I needed to strain it and then restrain it and like do this like several times. So I went ahead and reached out to the company, Nama, that's the company. This is only part of the machine. And I learned that my machine was still under warranty. I should have found out how long their warranty is, but I think it's quite lengthy. And after the lady asked me a few questions about possibly missing a part, which I wasn't. And that was on it. Let's see, the part I think she's talking about was this part right here, this little green piece that comes off. And I said, nope, I still have that. So she asked me a few other questions and she said, you know what? I'm going to send you out this whole new bottom part of the juicer, which is actually 4 different parts. There's the auger, the chamber, the juice strainer, and the spinning brush, which is basically these 4 pieces. So this is the spinner. Oh, if I could get them apart. And the auger is this bigger piece. And then the juice strainer and the spinner and the brush. So they're giving me replacement of all those pieces. And I'm expecting them to arrive today. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to go ahead and start juicing again. She said that if it doesn't fix the problem for some reason, give her a call back and then they would figure it out. And I love a company that stands behind their products. So if you're thinking about a juicer, you know, I would recommend the Nama. I mean, there's a lot of great juicers out there, but if you want to look at the Nama, you can check it out at my store and just go to thejenniferdimond.com, go to shop, and then products I use, and you'll find the Nama under the small appliances category. You could check it out. You don't have to buy anything, but you can at least see what it is in close detail. And I've also got some of my favorite ingredients and kitchen tools and books there too. It's a new thing that I've been sharing and really excited about it. So anyways, let's see. Judy, congratulations on 100,000. Thank you so much, Judy 5501. Tracy Lynn is here. Just saw on Facebook Marketplace along with the Breville juicer thing. Yes, Mona. Yeah, excellent. You can see all kinds of stuff. I see that someone asked about this. This is actually a delicata squash. Somebody said delicata squash. Jesse Bunker Maxwell. But Todd said this is a Cinderella pumpkin. It's actually called a fairy tale squash. And yes, we got it from a friend who picked it from their garden. Hello. I felt so fortunate. She goes, do you want one of these? I'm like, do I want one? Sure. Who says no to that? I don't. So that's going to be a new food. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I was just thinking of cutting it up and baking it. I don't know what else to do with it, but it's kind of in the pumpkin family, so there's supposed to be seeds in there, and yes, or fairy tale squash, whatever he says. Okay. Anyways, I have been collecting carrot pulp, and this is only some of it. Carrot pulp. And pulp from other juice combinations and freezing them. And so I finally decided to try to make a very simple recipe with minimal ingredients and make some pulp crackers, which I mentioned before. We separated them because as I was starting to incorporate more food, I wanted to know what was in this pulp. So these crackers are actually carrot, pulp, and ginger, I think was the first one. This one is carrot, ginger, beet, celery pulp. And so we have a bunch of different bags in here. I'm going to give this to you. Maybe, do you mind putting it back in the freezer? But I just wanted to talk about that. These crackers are so good. And I'm hoping, like I said earlier, to make a batch with you guys, even though they won't be ready because it's so simple. But before we do that, we'll do that later in the show. I just want to also finish talking about some new foods that I have been trying and I've been able to enjoy, like sauerkraut and dandelion. Oh, I was going to bring the dandelion out, but where do you put dandelion right now? Dandelion. Kale. Now I've been doing a gentle, I don't know what kind of kale that was, but it's not the dino or the really strong kale. We found like looked just like a more gentle leaf, not as dense at the farmer's market. And I've also been upping my sprout intake. If you see these, look at, I'm sprouting again. Oh my goodness. My big salads. I tried pickles with minimal ingredients, olives, black garlic. Here's some black garlic. Black garlic. I have a video showing how to make black garlic, but I actually bought this at the farmer's market. And then regular garlic. I've been eating a lot of raw garlic. And if anyone is interested, I can open this and eat it right in front of you if you want to, if you're not familiar with it. Another thing, kumquats. Kumquats. Oh, I just love, we had a kumquat tree.
Had.
Well, yeah, had. Limes. So we've got limes. I've been doing that. Serrano peppers that we grew a long time ago and have in the freezer, and we took the seeds out. I also tried black beans and tempeh and lemongrass tea. I've been making lemongrass tea. What I've been doing is, okay, this is lemongrass. And I got it at the farmer's market. I should try to grow it. And then what I did was I took some filtered water and I took some of those leaves and I just kind of crumbled them in there. And I, brought it to a boil and then let it cook for like 10 minutes, boil or, heat up, and then just let it sit there. I mean, for days until it's gone. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my little cup here and either the matcha green tea or just regular green tea. And I am using that water. And by the way, if you've never made this before, this smells amazing. Lemongrass is amazing. You could do lots of things with it. And then I use this little matcha. So I put the powder in the glass, and then I just put a little bit of the water. And then I take this guy right here. Let me get the spoon out of there. And I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this thing is the best mixer for matcha or any powder. And then I finish filling it up the rest of the way. This is available. Is this available on our store? So if you want to check it out, this is the matcha tea set. This box is an older version. They have a newer, it's the same stuff inside it. It's a kit. It comes with all kinds of stuff. Anyways, if you're interested, you could check it out. But I would definitely say, try making your own lemongrass tea. And if you want, you can add other things to it. Like I was thinking of, if I had time, if I made time, take ginger, slice it up, and also put that in there. The reason that I want to have this ready to go and not boiling and cool is because I don't want to ruin any of the cook out any of the matcha benefits or the green tea. So I want that at more of like a 80 to 90 degrees when I pour it in there and mix it up. Okay, so let's just go here. Let's see, hold on. Oh, is that the first one, Todd? Oh, Jesse Bunker Maxwell. And do I see radish slices in that mason jar? Yes, you do. I sliced them up myself. We got them at the farmer's market. They are like I think they're called Easter radishes. Oh my gosh. And, I took a mandolin and I sliced them up the other day. And I've been eating them in my salad. There's a bunch of them in here. And that's something you could do. Prepping is so great. I really want to eat that, but I won't because I don't want to be crunching in everyone's ear. But I will eat that later. Yes, good eye, good eye. Mona Arendt says, I have never had black garlic, but my farmer's market has, the lacinato kale, which is the dino kale, and the curly kale, which is great. And Jesse Bunker Maxwell says, I'm getting hungry just listening and looking to all those great produce. Well, thank you. Yes. And Mona says, I have lemongrass growing in, oh yeah, you have it growing in the flower bed. Well, try something with it. Isn't this great? I just love it. So anyways, I have been sprouting, which I mentioned also. And I have been trying to eat a cup a day of the broccoli sprouts. These I'm growing more right now. And a quarter cup is what I started out with the beans or the lentil. That's what's in this one right now. Just to see how my body would react to it, before I went crazy. I need more sprouting kits because I'm hoping to bring my uptake, my intake, another cup or so. I'm currently doing a cup of the broccoli sprouts, and I want to continue to up it. My long-term goal, subject to change, right? Might be able to get in like 3 to 4 cups per day, and I can freeze them. Have you guys ever frozen any sprouts before? You can, and then I just add them to a smoothie. But when they're fresh, I just like to eat them just on their own. I put a little dressing that I make, maybe a little mustard or like stone ground mustard. I have like a no salt one, or apple cider vinegar. You can mix it up. You can put all kinds of seasonings in there, whatever you use for dressing. Sprouts are just so good for us. The broccoli sprouts offer, I think, like 20 times the sulforaphane of regular whole full grown broccoli. So at this time especially, that is really important for me because the sprouts have actually been studied for their potential to support the body's antioxidant defenses, right? And they help activate the detoxification pathways. They support healthy inflammatory responses, and they just promote overall cellular health. So it's a win-win if you ask me, and they're in my life as to stay as far as I'm concerned. So let's see, anything else we're going to, hot, spicy, not temperature hot. The radishes here are hot. Oh, they are? These aren't. Well, these have a bite to them if that's what you're talking about, but I do like them. And I didn't always like them, but I do now. All right. So I want to share some new test results that we got that were taken from my tumor. This is a printout just to show you. Look at this. This is some of the test results from this test that we got. Yeah. Okay. After my surgery, my doctors sent the removed cancer tissue, right, the tumor, to a lab. And I believe that lab is located in North Carolina. I think they have several locations, but I think mine went to North Carolina. And they did deeper testing to learn more about the biology of the cancer itself. Now, my oncologist did say, are you okay if I send this to have a test? And We didn't even know about the test. It was the day that they just told me, like without any warning, what my pathology was. But I said, absolutely. And Todd agreed, yes. And so these are the results of that. Took a few weeks. And so I was trying to think of how to explain it because we couldn't even read this. This thing is like not for normal people. So think of it like this. Finding a tumor is like finding a car that broke down, okay? And surgery removes the car from the road. But these tests try to answer the questions like, why did the car break down? How does this type of engine behave? Does it have known weak points? Is it likely to break down again? And if so, what tools work best to fix this problem? Okay, so I was pretty excited to know that there are tests that can give us a lot of information. And that's what the testing was trying to figure out. So one of the tests looked at something called, was it MSI? MSI, Todd? MSI, MMR. You don't have a mic on, but I heard you. He said yes. Okay, so your body copies DNA consistently. That's how we evolve, right? And normally it has built-in like spell check system that can catch mistakes. So cancer can happen when the spell check system stops working. So MMR is that, and that's mismatch repair. That's what that stands for. I don't know what the, MMR, mismatch repair, asks, is the spell check system broken? And then the MSI, do you remember what that is? Micro something?
I do.
You need a mic. Microsatellite,
It is microsatellite instability.
Okay, MSI. And that part asks what happened because the spell check stopped working. So in my case, the results showed the spell check system appears to still be working normally. And that's the MMR, okay? And so that sounds good. And in some ways it is, but there's a trade-off here. So the good news is that my cancer does not appear to be one of the highly unstable, mutating heavy types. Great. But the downside is that those highly mutated cancers are often easier for certain immunotherapy drugs to recognize and then to attack. So I'm not eligible for immunotherapy drugs because of my test results, which is fine. They didn't offer me that ever. So my results mean that my cancer appears to be more like a standard colon cancer biologically, rather than one of the highly immunotherapy responsive types. Okay. So then they performed a genetic profiling on this tumor. And this looks for very specific mutations that are inside the tumor, almost like checking whether certain switches got stuck in the on position, right? And some of my results were actually encouraging. So I was KRAS, KRAS negative, and BRAF, which is BRAF negative. And so I don't know what those stand for, but those are mutations that can sometimes make colon cancer more difficult to treat. So not having them keeps more future treatment options available if they ever needed that. Hopefully not, but it's good to know. It's not like, okay, we have nothing. But other mutations like the APC and the TP53, those were found. So what does that mean? Well, it sounds scary. I thought, well, oh my gosh, that's not good. But those are actually what we learned. They're very common in colon cancer, and they don't automatically mean worse outcomes. Okay. So overall, what this testing told us, is something really important, right? My cancer is just your run-of-the-mill colon cancer. It's not unusually aggressive. It's not highly mutated. What is also great is that the oncologists are actually bored by this type of test result, I think. And you can share your thoughts of that, Todd, right?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm in the room about it. It was just like, okay, this is just your everyday run-of-the-mill average, cancer.
Right. And let's see. Jesse Bunker Maxwell says that's a good analogy. Well, good. I'm glad we were trying to figure out how do we, after we figured out what it meant, because that was a nightmare to figure out, but how do you explain it in a simple way? And I'm glad that works. So the next big question in all of this that we want to find out is, did surgery remove every last microscopic cancer cell? So in order to find that information out, we learned there's a test for that. And we need that test. And that test is called the ctDNA test. And I'll explain it in a moment. It becomes so important after surgery. And with this test, they don't look at the tumor anymore. They look in the blood. So afterwards, to see whether any any molecular fingerprints from the cancer are still detectable. Okay, so there's a possibility that there aren't, and that's what we're hoping for. There's a possibility there are. So it's a simple blood test. I haven't even had it yet, and even if there are some cells still circulating in my body, it doesn't mean that they're going to become tumors. There's a fair amount of research to support that most of the remaining cells, if any, may already be dead. Okay, a smaller percentage may just be alive but dormant. Okay, and even a smaller percentage may still be active and looking to establish another tumor. So that's kind of what we will learn from this next test. And my medical oncologist said that he wanted to run this test. We also had asked him to do it and learned that he had it in the plan all along. So I was really happy about that. And like I said, it's a simple blood draw. They want me to wait for this test. We're like, why didn't you guys do it already? Well, they want to wait until you're 5 to 6 weeks post-op before running this test, because if you run the test too early, after surgery, you risk getting false positives because the cells need time to filter out of the body after surgery and then settle, settle, so to speak, right? So, or flush out or do whatever they're doing to kind of see really what is here. And so so either next week, I think, or the week after, he will have the lab send someone out to my house to take a sample. I'm like, really? I thought that was so cool. He said, well, since we live 45-minute drive away, he said, that's something that they offer. It's included in the insurance. It's not going to cost us anything. And he could do that to make it more convenient. So I believe the results will take about a week after the blood draw. And so more to come on that. It should show a positive or negative result is what we understand. And I feel like that's a really important piece of this to have and understand, because we are still undecided about and collecting. We're still undecided about the direction to go. And I just want to say, I thought that was really interesting. When I went to True North to Waterfast a few years ago, when I left there, my doctor said, don't let anyone do any blood work on you for at least 6 weeks, because it will come out all messed up because you were water fasting. And then everybody gets freaked out because they don't understand water fasting. And so I kind of felt like, okay, this is kind of reminds me of that. And so I'm sure it's correct. So, yeah. Hi, Deborah Barr. She says, house calls, how nice. I know, right? Let's see. Oh, Emily is here. Hi, Emily. It just goes to show how little they know or understand about how the body works. Well, oh, do you want to pull that down a little bit? Emily earlier said, why aren't they looking at the lymph fluid? There are 3 times as much lymph as blood. Well, that's a good question, and something that we can look into. But this is where we're at right now, and grateful to have the knowledge and information. And they did take lymph. We may not know that information because they did take 13 lymph nodes, and they did look at every single one of them. And that's how we found out that one was positive. So anyways, I want to share about a couple of meetings. This past week, Todd and I met with one of the integrative oncologists that was actually referred to me by my naturopathic doctor, who I trust very much. He's been taking care of me for many years. And he didn't say if he would recommend chemo or not. He just said at this point he would support whatever I wanted. Okay, so that's good to know. And just kind of giving you a little summary, this was just a quick consultation. He explained that while standard chemotherapy is currently the most researched treatment for someone with stage 3 colon cancer, his role is to help me improve my outcomes and quality of life. So he says he uses personalized strategies, and those are things like nutrition, fasting, mimicking diets, supplements, IV therapies, repurposed medications, which we're learning a lot about, and advanced testing. Those are some of the things to identify weaknesses in a person's cancer and support the body's ability to fight it. So he also helps reduce the chemotherapy side effects if I decide to do that. He monitors for cancer reoccurrence using specialized blood tests he talked about, and creates long-term prevention plans aimed at lowering the risk of cancer returning. So the doctor emphasized that treatment decisions are ultimately up to me, and that his goal is to provide information, guidance, and integrative support to help people make the informed choices. Now, he also said, hey, if you don't want it, or you want to wait, you want to see how this goes, you don't have to do anything. We could do that too. So this was just a quick meeting to understand what he could help us with. And that was an in-person meeting. He said it would be 15 minutes. He actually gave us 30 minutes. We felt really good about it. And then we had another meeting with another integrative doctor who was referred by a trusted friend, who is also she has a career in this space as well. And this was a phone call, also supposed to be 15 minutes. He gave us 30 as well. And one thing that stood out to Todd and I that he said was, chemo works on tumors better than on residual cells. And you don't have a tumor now because they removed it. Right. So at that very moment, Todd and I looked at each other, and Todd frantically started researching and found, he was on the computer researching, could this be true? Well, we're still on the call, and found that there was some research on this. It's not a cut and dry or like a black and white kind of thing, but according to some of the latest research, and tell me if I'm wrong, Todd, the chemotherapy can be less effective against residual cancer cells under certain conditions, right? And chemo, and let me just finish my thought here. Chemo is most effective, our understanding, for rapidly dividing microscopic cancer cells, and less effective for dormant cells or cancer stem cells. And we're just kind of like food for thought. We never heard of that. Did you want to add to that?
I was just going to say that is what some of the latest research is starting to talk about.
Yeah. So, it's every time we talk to someone in that space, we gather more information, no matter what side they're on. And I just love that no matter what direction I go, it seems like whether it's Western medicine doctor or integrative, they're all like whatever I want to do. And so we're just continuing to learn about my cancer type, what it was. I don't have cancer. the tumor's gone, right? We threw it in the bucket. So what I have, might not be anything. I mean, we don't know. But as we're learning, it's just continuing to collect information. And no matter where you are, no matter what your choice is, if you're in this situation, everybody's cancer is different. If you have that, everybody's situation is different. And that's what makes it so difficult. So I'm just saying, no matter what you decide to do, I'm just sharing what I'm doing, what I'm learning. Maybe it will spark you to look into things that might help you learn more about wherever your situation is, or share it with somebody that you love or know. But there's no judgment on my end. You do what works for you, and I appreciate everybody supporting me in that way as well. So, all right. I want to share about another thing that I'm looking at. So I'm also looking at other things like the AquaCare machine, right? Have you guys ever heard of the AquaCare machine? Another one that you may have heard of that I think is kind of trending right now is, I think it's called Kenjin, I think. So this, if you can see it, this is an old AquaCare machine. It's one of the original ones. And my friend loaned it to me, and I'm going to turn it on and show it to you guys because it's interesting. It's an older one. I wanted to try it. The machine has a tank that is filled with distilled water, and it supposedly removes a hydrogen atom from each distilled water molecule. And I'm not sciencey, so tell me if I make a mistake here, Todd. And either distributes it as a hydrogen oxygen gas, or some people call it Brown's gas, or infuses it into a different jar filled with filtered water that you can then drink. Okay, and the idea is that the additional hydrogen molecule might help neutralize most of the damaged reactive oxygen molecules, while leaving beneficial cells signaling molecules alone, and then also reducing oxidative stress. Did I say that right? Is that correct? Do you understand that?
You did. There's a lot of sciencey sounding talk in how this is supposed to function.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I just see John Jew Longevity is here. Hello. Hi, Jennifer and Todd and everyone. Yay, you don't have cancer. The power of your word is huge. Yes, I might have some little cells in there, but I don't have that tumor anymore. It's gone. So while there's legitimate and growing research on the molecular hydrogen, there isn't a whole lot about Brown's gas of hydrogen infused water, but our friends have these machines, and they say it's helped them with things like healing injuries, all kinds of different things. And so I thought, well, I'd like to try it. And since my friend had one, I said, even if it's, not a new one, I would try it. And so we picked it up, and what you do, Todd already plugged it in. Hopefully you can see this. I can certainly bring it closer if you want, but it's plugged in. And so I put the main power on, and the distilled water, is the distilled water in here, or is this the live? In the tank. And then this right here, this cup, it's going to be bubbling. Oh, I should probably turn it on here. So you can adjust the percentage. You can adjust the output depending on what you're doing. You can use it for 5 minutes up to, I have a friend that uses it for 30 minutes. And there's 2 ways you could do it. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see, we might have to bring this closer for them to see, but this is bubbling. So it's filling it with the bubbles. And then what you can do is you get one of these guys, which we went and picked up our own. So this is a brand new one, but one of these like oxygen masks, and you just put it on, and I would sit down somewhere, and it's just a very gentle, light little, I barely even feel it, little bit. And you put the timer on. I was putting 10 minutes, and you just breathe in the air. Now, if this jar is the lid is broken, unfortunately they dropped it and the lid broke. But what you could do is also take this part off and let me just, can I just do it while it's going? Oh yeah, I can. So you can also, in this jar, this is not the original jar that it came with, but they put this jar in here. This has whatever water you're drinking. So I used the Berkey water. And then what it does is it goes into there and bubbles for the oxygen part of it. And then it continues into here. And there's another piece, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's bubbling also. And so what it's doing is it's adding the hydrogen molecule, right, into the water. So in 10 minutes or so, I can drink the water and supposedly have like higher levels of hydrogen to help clean things out. I just thought it was interesting. You know, I don't know. I'm trying all kinds of things. I'm open to everything. And so this is the machine that that he let me borrow. And I'm just going to turn it off because I don't know if that's loud. But if you want me to bring it over, we can bring it over so you can see it close up. Just let me know in the chat. Also, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So there's newer units, and I don't know. I'm just open to anything. I mean, you never know what can work and what won't work, right? So why not? Okay. So I had a follow-up with the nutritionist at City of Hope. Sorry, I should have had that drink first. And that was done over like a, not Zoom, but through the portal, the City of Hope portal. And it was a different nutritionist than I saw before my surgery. And so she wants me to up my protein to be 100 grams per day. Isn't that right? And she said that she believes I can do it on a plant-based diet. She wants me to use Chronometer, which I'm very familiar with. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a free app. People use it for all kinds of things. If you want to know for like a week or so, if you're getting all your nutrients in, maybe you're healing, maybe you're athletic, maybe, I don't know, you're low, deficient, and you can put it in there. And then it will tell you, where you land. And so she said she would like me to measure my intake. She talked about so many different things. One of the other things, and I didn't say anything, right? I'm just there to hear what she has to say. I don't have to agree with it. I might learn something. I'm very open to everything. But she did talk about plant-based proteins that are incomplete proteins. And I thought to myself, well, that's kind of old thinking. Her example was, you have to eat beans with your rice. Okay, not at the same meal, do it over the week. I mean, but anyways, you get what I'm saying. So we're on a little bit of different ground, but that's okay. And so she wants me to follow up with her in a few more weeks. She said, oh, you should weigh yourself once a week with the same clothing, the same time of day, all of these things. And she wants me to weigh my food. So I haven't done that. I've done that all before, and I understand. She just wants to make sure that I am getting enough of what they think is important for continuing to heal. Okay, so I wanted to share that. So let's talk about a little bit of fun things here. Things for fun and exercise progress this week for me. Well, I did something really fun. I went splashing in the pool for fun. It's hot where we live. It's not as hot as it usually is, but it's like 97 degrees. It's under 100 degrees and Fahrenheit. And that's warm. That's good for us. The pool is refreshing. And so I went on our Baja step. If you don't know what that is, it's just like, instead of like a small step, 3 steps to go down. It's the first step is this big area where you could put chairs in. And when we built the pool, we were thinking of Remy and then the grandkids. And anyhow, it's nice. You could put a chair in if my mom is over or friends, and you can sit with an umbrella. Okay, so it's this big area. And so I can't submerge yet because I have to wait a few more weeks before I could do a bath or submerge for the, everything healing up. But I was in there splashing and having a good party, and it felt good. It felt good. And then yesterday evening, Todd went all the way in and enjoyed. He said, "No, I don't want to go in without you." And I'm like, "No, go in. I'll put my feet in." It was fun. So that was a fun thing. I did 10 squats, and I did them just, let me see. Whoops. I did them just like this, one, and I did 10 of them. And, that was enough. I could feel it. I started doing yoga 10 to 12 minutes at a time, just trying to stretch. Man, I'm so tight because I haven't been able to do anything. So that has been just amazing. So I started doing yoga, and then I follow up with the stationary bike. I'm up to 21 minutes. And I started to go from like the single level to 1 up, level 2, which you don't really notice, but it's perfect. And then we watched a funny movie, an old movie from, 2004? Yeah. White Chicks. Have you guys seen it? Oh, hilarious. It was so great for me to laugh. I thought the part about the farting, the gas blowing somewhere in the movie was so funny. I could barely breathe. And I don't know, it was just hilarious to me. And it was great to focus on something else. I also celebrated a family member's birthday, and that was really fun. And that person is dealing with some, not diabetes, but like pre-diabetic sugar stuff. So I said, well, what could we bring, to celebrate? And they said fruit. So I think they thought I was just going to bring some fruit cut up, but I brought a watermelon, and we made a watermelon cake, which I like doing. And that was really fun. Another thing, I've been doing just a little bit of driving, not very far. When we have somewhere to go that's far, I still have Todd drive. But if it's just a little bit around here, I've been doing it, and it feels good. Okay, they glued my stuff. I've got 5, little slits where they cut me, 1 big one, and then the other ones. 2 of them on the top here, the glue peeled off. Yay! And what do you think? How do you think it looks?
I think you're healing up beautifully.
Yeah, so that's exciting. And my meditation is working because, how do I know? I've been waking up thinking, my cells are healthy and balanced. My cells are healthy and balanced. My cells are healthy and balanced. And I have also been poking around in the garden. Now, I'm not growing anything or digging around, but I'm finding stuff like, ooh, look it. I found a little something or other. And so I've been enjoying that and eating it. Stephanie Simpson is here. Hello, and welcome. And John Juice says, yes, research in our best interest, open to anything good that the body can do. Yes, absolutely. So some new things that I want to try or have heard about is the radon detector. You guys ever heard of a radon detector? I'm just getting crazy with everything. It's meant to, for people that might be concerned with their lungs or lung cancer, but a radon detector measures the amount of radon gas in your home. Now, radon is invisible, it's odorless, it's radioactive gas that comes naturally from the ground, and it can build up indoors over time. And so the detector helps you find out if levels are high so that you can reduce exposure and then protect your lung health. So I just wanted to test it because I'm just getting crazy with everything. And so I'm showing you the box because you're not supposed to move it. And we just got it yesterday, and it's sitting over there, and it's supposed to be 24 hours for this one and then a week. And so I'll keep you posted if you're interested. Okay, a few other things that I want to share that I just thought. Soursop drops. I got some. I haven't tried them yet, but I decided that this might be a good thing. They are high antioxidant. They help with inflammation. So soursop, what is it? It's a tropical fruit. It's got like a green spiky skin and a soft white flesh, and it tastes like a mixture of pineapple, strawberry, citrus, banana. We tried a juice of it in Costa Rica. I couldn't find the fruit, but people often eat it like fresh, put it in smoothies and teas and all kinds of things. It contains vitamin C and fiber, and there's some plant compounds, I think, that are being studied. And then another one, which I have had before, which is the amla fruit. It's a small green fruit. It's native to India. It's oh God, I just went blank. The Indian gooseberry. That's what it is. It's extremely high in vitamin C. It's rich in polyphenol, antioxidants, and in its natural state, it's supposed to be a very tart, sour kind of taste. I never noticed it in the powders because I throw it in a smoothie. And some people eat it fresh or dried or pickled, or, like what we're doing, put it into a powder. And so it also helps, I think, with immune support and digestion and oxidative stress. So, and then of course I shared about garlic. I'm eating a lot of fresh garlic, raw and black garlic. And so, okay, so I said if we had time, I would share about making the crackers into pulp. Are you guys okay if I go a little over? Because this is a really simple recipe, but I want to be careful about people's time. And I feel okay, like I could do this. I haven't had the chair. So what do you say? Should I go ahead and just do it? And if you got to go, I understand. What do you say, Todd? Should we?
Do it.
Do it, he said. Okay, so I'm going to move this beautiful thing here and bring this guy here. Okay, and this looks so yummy too. This was, by the way, really yummy. I'll just put it over there just so we have a little more room here. Okay, so the recipe. Oh gosh. Okay, so it's 3 cups of the pulp. This is carrot pulp. Well, this has other things in it, but so if you only want carrot, then just use carrot. This has beets in it, so that's why you see some red, but it's 3 cups. And I had this in the freezer, and I just thawed it out, and it's very moist still, not super moist, but it's good. And then everything has been cleaned and ready to go. And so then I'm going to do a tomato. I don't really measure them. You could do a Roma tomato. Just throw in this tomato. Okay, got the tomato. We're going to do some flaxseed. I've got half a cup. I didn't grind it. It's going to get ground in here. Woo, look at that. And then I've got some chia. I've got a 1/4 cup of chia. Okay. And then, we've got lime. Well, I think it's better to use lemon, but I'm out of lemon. So when in doubt, use lime. But if you can, I would say use about a tablespoon of organic lemon juice, and that's usually about 1/2 of a lemon. This is going to be, I'm going to do I didn't measure it, but I'm just going to do the whole, I don't know if I should do the whole thing. Maybe I'll just not squeeze this 100%. There you go. And we'll call that good. Okay. And can you believe it? We just need a little bit of water. I've got here 3/4 of a cup. And if I need a little bit more, I'll add a little bit more. But I think that's good. Or you can start a little bit less and add it as you go. And then we've got some black pepper to taste. And then I like to do the sesame seeds. So I've got both the white and the black. I'm going to put some on top afterwards. So we're going to wait on this. This is it, guys. This is it. So I have not done an appliance dance yet. And I am going to see if we could do it. So we're just going to put this on the Vitamix to mix it up. You want a high-powered blender. And we're just going to blend this up. What I love about this recipe is that there's not a lot of stuff in it. I don't want a lot of stuff. I just want to make sure that I just have minimal ingredients. And if I want to have a cracker, well, I feel good about where it's coming from. So let me put my ears on. Of course, I always encourage you guys, get up and dance with me. It's not going to be a long one, but let's do this. And I will see if I can do it with you. So here we go. Ready? Oh my gosh, you guys. I need to go a little bit longer, but we're almost there. Here we go. Here we go. And I did add a little water, little extra water. All right, I think we have done it. Oh my God, that was really good. That was really good, even without music. And you know what? I needed more water. And it looks like I could blend this just a little bit more because some of it just needs to be poked down. So what does that mean? We get to do one more small little dance, and then we'll be ready to pour it on the tray. And I'll talk to you about how to dehydrate it. That's it, guys. It's just so easy. I mean, this is the longest part, right? Getting it to blend. And apparently I needed more water. So that's why I started with 3/4 of a cup. And I probably put up to another half a cup or so. So you just want it to make sure that it blends well and it's still kind of thick. Let's try a little bit longer. Here we go. Here we go. Get up. Come on. Woo! Hi, Chick. Hi, Chick. Oh my God, I can't believe I did high kicks, but I did. All right. So then if you have a dehydrator, you're going to want to get your dehydrated mat. And then I just put one of these Paraflex sheets on top. If you don't have one, you could use probably parchment paper. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can put this in the oven. I haven't tested this recipe in the oven, so I would just do a very low heat and I would watch it because you don't want it to burn. But what we basically do now is pour it on here, and you want to make sure that it's about, oh God, see how thick it is? Look, that's why I needed a little more water. You want to do about 1/4, I think it's about 1/4 of an inch, because it's going to dehydrate. And not all of this will fit. You know, I might end up having to put some on another sheet. So let me just start with what I have. And then I just kind of, you know, spread it out. That's it. And you just want to, I spread it with this thing. You can use a spatula, but then I use my hands. And that's really fun. Any questions? Anything, Todd? Did you get up and dance?
I danced inside.
I'm going to make you come up and dance next time.
I will dance inside up there as well.
Okay, tell me.
Stephanie Simpson asked, what was the first ingredient you put in the pitcher?
Ooh, what was the first ingredient I put in the pitcher? The pulp, the carrot pulp. And it has some other ingredients in it. That's why it looks this color, because we had made that one with beet and garlic, and you can look at the wrapper if you want.
I think it was carrot, beet, ginger, and celery.
Yes, ginger. Yes. And so I like to kind of know what's in it. So then maybe if I want one that's more, orange, I'll do one that's like mostly carrot pulp, or like this one that I have to show is carrot pulp with ginger. And that was the first one. You don't have to use your hands. I just like playing with my food, if you guys don't know that by now. And so this actually looks like it's going to be a little bit, that's really playing with your food, a little bit too much. So I'm going to have to put it on a few different trays. And for time, I'm trying to kind of hurry this, but you're just going to want to make sure, and you can use a proper utensil. You just want to make sure that you have it about no more than a ½ inch thick. No more than a ½ inch thick. And you want to make sure that that's consistent, because sometimes we tend to have the middle thicker and then the edges are thinner. And then, the cracker will just come out thin, and then there'll be some that are thicker. So, you just got to kind of think about that. So I will sit here and play with this for a long time to get it right. And then I have more, so I'm going to put it on another sheet. But for time's sake, I'm just going to show you what I would do next. And whoops, some people like salt, or you want salt. You can go ahead and put a little tiny bit of salt in there if you want. If you don't want it, skip it. You don't need it. Or you can sprinkle a little on top. This is where I like to sprinkle a little bit of the sesame seeds, and I just sprinkle. You can do whatever color you want. I like doing both the white and the black. And this is not a very nice, even thing because I'm rushing, but you get my picture. Look, doesn't that look pretty? Now, it does fall apart sometimes. It does fall off the cracker. So what I then do is I try to just, if I want to do a spatula, if you want, I try to just kind of press it in a little bit. And then it usually stays. Okay, and then the last thing you do before you put the tray in the dehydrator is, where is my tool? Get a pizza cutter and cut it into the shape that you want. So this is what I'm doing. I don't move it, it's wet, but I just cut it into strips. You could do whatever shape you want. You can do squares, you can do triangles. If you were going to do triangles, you would have to do that. And then you just go over and do this. Now, I would put this in the dehydrator at about 105 degrees. And then I would do it for like 10 hours. And I would check it. And if it seems like it's really dry, these pieces will kind of come apart from the scoring. They'll come apart from the scoring a little bit as it dries. And then you can either flip it over if it seems really dry and a little moist on the bottom. And if you are able to flip it over, then you can take this part off and just put it directly on this bottom part for the last part. If it's thin, you might not need to flip it. So it depends. And then we just put this in there, which I will do. And tomorrow we have crackers. And so what I've been doing is I do have a store-bought hummus. It's a really clean one. It's always better, I think, to make homemade, but I'm still improving and healing. So this is going to work. And I just take a cracker. Come on and try it. Yum. I really am addicted to these things. Even plain. Todd said, and you've had them before, but let's share what you think about it, plain or with the hummus or whatever you want. You could even crumble it and put it over a salad.
Yeah,
oh my God, I love it. Really so I wanted to share that. I used to make a pulp cracker that had almond flour and all these other things. You saw what we put in here, nothing, which is great.
Well, and because you're juicing, right? You're still using all the pulp. So you're not wasting, and you don't have to create something again.
Yeah. Core Scorpions in the house. First ingredient was love, Jennifer. Thank you. And so maybe I'll inspire you if you're juicing. Just put it in your freezer. And sometimes I'm like, gosh, I really want a cracker, but I don't want to eat crackers. the store-bought crackers. This way, it's all the fiber. And I know I already juiced it and I got all the benefits of that, but why not have this instead? So anyways, thank you for hanging out with me. That wasn't very long. And I will fix this a little nicer before I put it in there. And I do have more. I just felt like I wanted to get it quickly. So any questions about any of that? I want to just see. Let's see, because I have the recipe here. So I'm just going to tell you that, yes, 105 degrees. I was right, for about 10 to 11 hours. Then remove the cracker from the lining, like I shared, transfer it, and then if you dehydrate it for just a little bit longer. It could be an hour. It could be, I wouldn't do it more than a few hours. It should mostly be done facing that way. And then then what I do is I crack it, because it's still going to be a sheet, but they're like connected. And so I just crack it. Oh, you know what? I just realized, okay, so I did it with a pizza just now, but when I made the first one, I had one of these things. Look at this. It's like a zigzag. And I did that. And so the edges of these, I forgot, are kind of like zigzag. You can do whatever you want, so just have fun with it. And you can keep them, they'll stay on the counter as long as they're super dry. You could I haven't frozen them. So I bet you could, but no, I would either put them on the counter or put them in the refrigerator. And if you notice that it gets a little dry or the moisture comes back in, which I haven't noticed, then you could just dehydrate it a little bit and go again. But we've had these on the counter for a week with the lid. It's been perfectly fine. All right. So there you have it. Now, before we go, I want to share something that was really interesting to me that I did in a meditation class. And I would like to ask you to join me in it. It's just something that I thought was kind of interesting. Okay. So wherever you are, if you're able to sit down or whatever, I want you to count all the things in the room, in the space that you are. Go and look around and count all the items, all the things that you see that are the color black. If you absolutely have nothing that's black, then pick a different color. But count all the things in that room. And I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to count in my space here. And okay, I see. Give you a minute. I got a lot of things here. Okay, you guys almost ready? You tell me, Todd, if that's enough time. Give people a little bit more time. Okay. Okay. So you know how many items that are black in the room that you're in. And of course, like I said, if you needed to pick a different color, whatever color that is. Okay. Now, make sure you're sitting down because I don't want anyone to fall down. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about how many items were black. So whatever your number is, 14 or whatever, okay? Close your eyes. And now with your eyes closed, I'll tell you when to open your eyes, but with your eyes closed and you're thinking of that number of those black items, I want you to tell yourself, or you can share without opening your eyes, how many items in that same space are blue. How many are blue? Don't look. You know how many are black, you just counted them, but how many are blue? You probably don't know. You can open your eyes now. Okay? You can't know. Why? Because we were focusing on the ones that we were counting, right? We were focusing on how many items or things are black in the room. So we didn't see the other color and we didn't know how many are blue. So you can see that if one of those colors, let's say that black color represents negative thoughts, and you're focused on negative thoughts, and the other one, let's say, is positive things, happiness, joy, whatever, instead of fear, depression, sadness, worry, all those things, you like miss the boat. So this is to bring awareness. So you just need to remember to refocus when we recognize a negative thought. And so here, that negative thought, in this case, the black color, you go to close your eyes, you can't see what else is in the room. But if you open your eyes and you look at that other color and focus on that positive outlook, right? We're just using colors as an example. It will help you in so many ways, right? When we recognize the negative thoughts, and that will help the body. It will help the central nervous system. It helps our breath. It helps our outlook. Everything will follow. And what's so important about that is when you're in a situation like I'm in, or you're in a situation where you're concerned, you're worried about whatever it is, money, job loss, health, anything like that. The mind is so powerful. And I believe if we can train our minds to be in the positive, see the positive more than the negative, even if it doesn't fix it. I hear our doorbell ringing. It should help. So I just thought that I would share that. Let me see what's in here. Yeah, many more. Colleen says, I have 0 blue in my house, so that was easy. Well, okay, yes. So if you really don't have blue, you could pick a different color. The idea was, do you recognize when you're focused on one thing, do you recognize another? No, not in depth like that. Not in depth like that. Oh, Todd just answered the door. The Nama. Oh, the Nama stuff came. You know what that means? We get to juice. Yay. So hopefully you understand what I was trying to share, because I can easily get caught up in a lot of this when I'm consumed with all of these tests and the doctors and people checking in with me with all the love in the world and my own thoughts, right? But if I refocus on something that offers positivity, it will help me, even if it doesn't give me the answers. I wanted to share that with you, and I hope that was helpful, and I hope I explained that well and that you followed it. Okay. Anyways, Colleen, you'll have to try this another time using a different color. And it doesn't, it could be anything. You could even do it while you're out, right? But at any rate, okay, so next week, I just want to share, I'm going to meet with 2 naturopath oncologists. Well, for sure one. I'm going to meet with the other one. That one's up in the air. And possibly have that blood test schedules. And then I'm going to continue to juice because I got the parts now. And I will keep bringing in more new foods to share with you. So, anyways, before we say goodbye, I see Mona says, my foster dog is looking for Remy. Oh, no. Well, he's here. You want to go grab him real quick and show him before we take off? So anyways, I wish everybody the very best all this week. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Say hi to the foster dog. Hey, Remy. Remy is doing really well, 14 and a half years young. And thanks for bringing him over here. Okay, everybody. I want to just say, don't forget to eat your greens. Don't forget to eat your greens. And now that I'm eating mine, I am so excited. And I want you to give plants a chance. Give plants a chance. They won't let you down. I promise you. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out a little longer with me. Bye for now.